Hello and welcome back to Mile High Discussions. I'm your host, Michael LeBois, and today is an entertaining episode. With me today are 4 students from Thomas Jefferson High School. And as I alluded to earlier, we're going to discuss the topic of entertainment. I'm going to allow the students a chance to introduce themselves, starting with you, Elijah.
I'm Elijah Thomas. I'm a junior at Thomas Jefferson High School, and I play football and I swim.
I'm Claire. I'm a sophomore at Thomas Jefferson High School, and I like ceramics.
Hi, I'm James, and I'm a junior, and I'm collectively the least nervous of all these 3.
Probably true.
I'm Sophia Ward, and I go to Thomas Jefferson High School. I'm a junior, and I enjoy being on the swim team.
Oh, fantastic. We got some swimmers, we got some athletes, ceramics, and laid back. I like it. So today's topics are going to cover the world of entertainment, very different styles. It's going to be interesting. It's 3 questions. Each question I'm going to give you guys basis on, and then we'll discuss as a group, get you guys' thoughts so your voice can be heard throughout. So the first question for you guys today is, whenever a teenager gets pregnant, does drugs, uses foul language, or commits a crime, certain TV shows and popular songs get the blame. Do television, music really have that great of an influence on teens today? I'll start with you.
Is there a camera I can look into real fast? Just
Yes.
This one? This one? No. End of story.
Wow. All right. Anybody else?
Good job, Elijah. So basically, I think it has a small impact. It doesn't really have a really great impact. You know, if you listen deep down to the lyrics, yeah, you can definitely get some ideas out of it, but I don't think it really influences us that much.
Okay. Would you like to elaborate, James, on your very poignant statement?
I like to think that us teenagers are smart enough not to just, I'm going to go do drugs because I heard it in a song. That's what I like to think, and I'm pretty sure most teens adhere to that kind of logic. Just like, we're not that gullible, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay. Claire or Sophia?
So I think that the reason that teens get pregnant when they're young and do drugs or alcohol is through lack of education about the harms of those things or how they can prevent themselves getting involved in drugs or prevent teen pregnancies and have healthy sex. So if we had more education, then we would have less of those unfortunate activities.
I think to an extent, like TV shows where they have like 16 and pregnant, I think that's something that could draw people to become pregnant so that they could get on the show. I think the influence is more from their peers and maybe from like a celebrity that they look up to. So if a celebrity were to do it, it's not so much about the songs, but about what they themselves are doing.
What about the function of social media? Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat. What do you think those roles play in the same concepts in terms of glorifying drug use, sexual promiscuity, those sort of things?
I feel that that it really it's like peer pressure. It definitely gives you like an image of what you should be, even though you're not that. Like, I know, speaking of Kim Kardashian, it makes a lot of women think there's a certain image they need to follow when they really don't, and I think it tends to lead to make them think that they're not beautiful or like a certain way when there's not really a certain way.
What can be done to sort of prevent that image then?
I don't really know. I mean, we can definitely get other people to like not as much on social media. Like, she's like the main, like, I guess the queen, I guess you can say that. We can also look at many other people. There's people with mental disabilities that have this that's beautiful in their own way too.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I agree. If we just had a diversity of images and we talked about teen pregnancy, but also we had girls that are pregnant on TV and girls that are not pregnant on TV. Like, so shows about having a healthy lifestyle. Like, I think that shows about teen pregnancy can be good because they also discuss changing that, and that can be helpful.
Yeah, actually, since that show's been on, the percentage of teen pregnancies has actually dropped, which is fantastic in that sense. What about the concept of going viral? For instance, the Cash Me Outside girl or any of those factors. Do those also play into the factors of the role of power of impact of entertainment in sort of aiming to be popular.
Definitely. The other day in Cleveland with the shooting, who was on Facebook Live, I mean, you can definitely use social media for good, but you can also use it for evil, and that was definitely an example of one. And I think people tend to use those resources and like to their advantage, and just to show the world what they are.
James, do you have anything to add?
Yeah, just like going viral. I've seen people do like dumb things just for the sake of, oh, maybe it'll go viral, and that's just like kind of weird, but also kind of preventable.
Yeah, maybe we should change like what goes viral. Like if things like someone activating for like equal rights went viral instead of this catch me outside. That was the silliest thing I ever saw. We're like, yeah, what the heck? So those are just like, we need to choose what we're gonna promote and entertain ourselves with.
Yeah, we choose what goes viral. So
Yeah.
Well, to an extent. I mean, we can choose what we watch, but as the rest of the society, they have to choose their own thing. And even if it was like YouTube deciding what would go viral or not, like it would still be very diverse, and probably a lot of it's going to be really, really stupid stuff, because that's just kind of clickbait. I mean,
BuzzFeed.
yeah, like when was the last time you went on YouTube and were like, I'm going to watch this video on like all of the things that people have done for equal rights, versus like going on YouTube and being like the 10 stupidest things people have done on Vine to get famous.
Mm-hmm. I was gonna go off of that. Definitely, you could like, I'll be on YouTube. You know, I watch different things. I watch mostly to like look up recipes for my cooking and stuff, and then I'll like look to the right and be like, it's like a challenge where you have like milk jugs slamming them in stores. It's just idiotic. It's stupid.
But
okay?
why do you think that stuff is so popular? Is it because it's mindless and it's something to just not focus on? Or is it because we as a culture in general don't really look to eco-activists as someone to, I guess, look for entertainment purposes?
I feel that a lot of people, they go in their own shoes and they see their reaction to it and want to put themselves in the other person's shoes, like, oh, it looks like they're famous, maybe I can reach that level too.
Yeah, people don't want to be challenged. They would like to watch something that is mindless and humorous, whereas if they're watching something about activism or education, they're going to be challenged and it's going to require more brain power.
I agree. Like when I go on YouTube, I'm either going to go there for a direct thing like recipes, like Elijah said, or I'm going to be on there being bored and just click on whatever sounds the most entertaining.
Well, another thing too, do you guys use YouTube for music as well?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
So what about the impact of, say, like, for instance, Kendrick Lamar? His most recent record has both the fun vibe of a great hip-hop record, but it's also got messages that are important to society.
Yeah.
Do you think that that's something that could be more pushed to the forefront? Or is that an issue with the same concepts of being concerned about the message itself?
Kendrick Lamar's new album is great with the "We're Gonna Be All Right," or I didn't pronounce it right. It's like "We Gonna Be All Right," but it brings like activism to the forefront, and it uses a media that's already popular. So then we're reaching a different generation with that kind of information, and it has a power to really impact people.
Yeah. James?
There's a show I watch, it's Steven Universe, it's a cartoon. It's very good, and it has like a lot of messages about equality and stuff, and that's like really good because it's like a children's cartoon, and has a lot of those really nice messages in it. So like, yeah, I think that can have a really positive impact, having things that are popular with good messages in it.
Cool.
Usually when I'll be listening to music with my friends, we're not so much listening to the lyrics of the song, but more to the beat of the song. But I think that to an extent, our subconscious does take in those lyrics, and that is kind of what is replayed in our dreams, because that's what they're doing. They're processing. So I think they do all go through.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think it just has to do with like YouTube. I mean, you can definitely look at TV shows. There's shows like Honey Boo Boo. It's a whole bunch of people talking about a whole bunch of nothing, doing a whole bunch of nothing. And this one show I saw, I don't know the exact name. I think it was Love Thy Neighbor. And he goes around to a bunch of hate groups, and basically he tries to get there and put a lie there in that group and tries to, like, you know, see if they can combine each other. So there's definitely good things you could be watching out there to, like, you know, get more information. And I think that's the things we should challenge ourselves with watching.
Thank you guys very much. That was beautiful. That was awesome. That's exactly what we're looking for. I really appreciate that. We're going to move on to a little bit of a lighter subject now. Pop culture influences teenagers greatly. What in particular resonates with you or has made an impact?
In terms of
It could be
like,
movies, music, television, video games, any culture, theater. Like for me personally, I'm a huge nerd, so I love playing puzzle games, things that force my mind to process and create.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Jane?
There are like, I get a lot of that. I'm a big nerd as well, and it's like a lot of the shows I like to watch because of deeper messages. A lot of games I play, like there's this game. It's called Undertale. It's all about like pacifism as like a means of playing through a game, and that's like very interesting. I think there's just a lot of different ways pop culture can influence different people.
Interesting. I like that.
Well, I have a lot of different things that I watch or read, but I think the main thing that it all spheres around is it's not reality, because I just like having time to distract myself from what's actually going on.
What are you reading right now?
Currently, I'm in between books.
Okay. What did you just finish reading?
Well, I just finished reading, rereading Graceling.
Okay.
It's a book that I've had for a while that I really enjoy.
Fantastic.
Me, you know, I'm into a lot of athletics, so I definitely watch highlights and stuff. It's just something being connected with the information that's going around in the professional world. It gives you a sense of what could be you in the future, and I think it's a really powerful thing for me.
Do you have professional aspirations?
Oh yeah, I want to play in the NFL, of course.
You want to play in the NFL? What position do you play?
I play defensive end,
Oh, nice.
number 99.
Who do you look up in the league? Who do you look up to in the league right now?
My favorite player in the league is definitely, even though he's not a defensive end, Cam Newton.
Okay.
I look at him greatly because out of all the people who always have something bad to say about it, he loves the sport for what it is and will always play his way no matter what everyone else says.
Fantastic. And
Yeah.
Sophia?
So I'm bisexual, and I watched this show called The 100, and that was the first time that I saw a bisexual couple in pop culture, and so I remember that moment. And I think that pop culture really has the power to validate people and to see yourself represented in the media, and that's an important feeling to have.
That's fantastic. And you said you're a swimmer as well.
Yeah.
What's your event?
Oh, I do a lot. I do like the 200 IM is a really fun one, and then the 500 freestyle and the 100 fly and 100 back.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Is there anything upcoming pop culture-wise that you guys are looking forward to, anything that's coming out? Like for me, personally, I'm looking forward to It. I'm a huge horror nerd.
Oh yeah.
So it's got Finn Wolfhard in it, so that's gonna be good.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome.
Gonna
what
be
about-
like with music too.
Yeah, music too.
Hey, this year it's gonna be the year of Shrimp Life. Ray Shrimmer. They're supposed to be dropping some new albums. It's gonna be
Okay.
nice. And then talking back to movies, definitely all the new movies coming out. You know, we got DC and Marvel. They're starting to drop some new movies, and I think it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
Are you DC or Marvel?
Definitely Marvel.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
We'll talk later.
Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Marvel, so I'm definitely excited for the
Marvel.
Thor Ragnarok.
Guardians of the Galaxy movie coming out, and
Who's your
for
favorite
Pirates of
Guardian?
the Caribbean.
Sorry, who's your favorite Guardian?
You know, I think I have to go with Groot. He's
Okay.
just so adorable.
Drax, because he's Dave Bautista, who played in the WWE.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
I'm partial to Rocket myself. What about you guys?
I'm definitely looking forward to Thor Ragnarok. That looks interesting, and there's like games and stuff coming out that I'm looking into. Yeah.
Yeah. And you, Sophia?
I'm looking forward to Kendrick Lamar and J. Cole's new collab album, if they can get their stuff together and do it.
That'd be
Have
nice.
you heard
when they
about
did.
Kendrick coming to Denver?
Seriously?
Pepsi,
Now I'm really
Pepsi Center,
excited.
July 28th.
I know where I'm gonna be July 28th.
Tickets go on sale Friday, so be ready. I know our director and engineer are both very excited about that one as well.
Fly advertisement.
Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward to some games as well.
Yeah.
and it's going to be fun. And Kendrick, if you're watching, man, we got a whole panel who wants to come see you, man. So come
Sponsor
on
me.
All right, we're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we'll get to the last question.
A lot of people think you have to be really good at numbers, and that's not really true. You do have to be good at solving problems. So we take students through all the basic fundamentals of accounting and hope to give them enough skills to go out and work in an entry-level accounting position.
Welcome back to Mile High Discussions. I'm your host, Michael LeBois. With me today, I have Elijah, Claire, James, and Sophia, all from Thomas Jefferson High School. We are discussing the topic of entertainment today. So I'm going to take you guys back to a little more difficult subject for you today. The debate over violent video games centers around whether kids and teens who regularly play them are prone to violence. Do you think that violent video games really influence teens into behaving badly? James, I'm going to start with you as the resident gamer.
Yeah, I play several violent video games, and it's never been fueled any violent tendencies within me. So, yeah, I don't really see it. And honestly, I think it's a lot of drawing connections. Oh, this person shot a bunch of people and plays Call of Duty. Clearly, that's the connection, and I don't think that's really the connection. But
I don't know. I'm not a super gamer or anything. I mean, my gaming experience is limited to like Mario Kart and stuff. But I know that when my sister and I go down and play a game together, and it can get pretty rowdy down there, but I think I see it as more of a way to let out your anger as a release, as more of something that's going to change the way that I am later.
I don't think it has anything to do with our behavior. I play a lot of Grand Theft Auto, okay? I'm not allowed to, but sorry, Mom. Anyway, it's not like I just go outside and like, oh, let me pull out my AK and go pull over a car and hop in. No, it's just some things are common sense. It's like, you know, I'm playing Call of Duty. It's not like I'm gonna go to school and do anything. It's like, it's just a game. There's really no correlation at all.
Do you think GTA is a scapegoat for a lot of people?
Oh, definitely.
Okay.
It's definitely one for me. Like, I remember, for one example, I remember one time I was at school, I was just angry, you know, just heated.
And got you,
I went on
you settle
GTA,
down?
and I let all the anger out.
There you go. Sophia?
So I actually disagree. I don't think it's healthy to be constantly seeing those like violent images. Like, I think in moderation, video games are great, but I feel like personally when I play a video game, which I don't do frequently, I'm not a big gamer, I just feel kind of like it gives me a nauseous feeling. So I think those like violent images are just not good for your brain to kind of normalize this as violence. And I don't think you're going to go like shoot up a school or anything like that, but it's going to make you a little more irritable, I feel like.
So to kind of bounce off that, do you think that maybe the genre of violence that's presented could also change the concept of that? Like, say, a DC or Marvel fighting game versus a first-person shooter like a Call of Duty, or something where it's more interpersonal. Do you think that could maybe influence it a little bit differently?
Probably the more fantasy it is, the less likely it's going to affect you because it's more like out there and not so personal.
More of a detachment than say, a personal connection.
Yeah.
I feel it doesn't have anything necessarily to do with what's the word I'm looking for? you're actually doing. I think it has more to do with your age, actually. I feel the older you get, the more advanced your brain will get. You can because at kids, I've seen kids play shooting games. They'll go outside with fake guns, shoot. I don't really see teenagers our age going around. So it basically has to do with how old you basically are.
So do you think that maybe regulating the age and being a little more aware of the rating systems that are already in place help with what you're seeing?
I mean, people definitely already know who's the audience. Like Call of Duty, it's not meant for 4, 8-year-olds, but I mean, they still play because their parents, they really don't care. And I feel that has to do more with the lack of attention to the game. I feel like parents, they should sit down and actually watch what the kids are playing, and that's what I have to see.
Do you guys think that maybe that's a great point, Elijah? Do you think maybe the environment at home also adapts to what they're doing with the product, i.e. the video game, whether it be violent or not?
Yeah, I think context means everything in my opinion. I think the reason something happened can be just as important of what happened. And yeah, I think if someone's in a less of a good situation and sees something violent, might be more encouraged to do something. But yeah.
What about specifically like war games, ones that are historical in context? They use historical accuracy, like the original Medal of Honors and Call of Duties, that you are now being ported back to newer systems. Could those be used as teaching tools as well, if you kind of context the fantasy versus reality?
Definitely.
Yeah, I was about to say, Battlefield 1 has this whole introduction aspect where you play through like 3 different soldiers who died in the line of battle, and it's like, yeah, this was a bad time, we're not endorsing any of it, but it happened, and it's kind of important that people know that.
I think it's just careful not to glorify war, because I feel like sometimes when you give a video game about war, it's like, oh, this is so cool, and then we have real wars that are really serious and everyone loses in war.
I would like to go off what Sophia said. So when I was a kid playing Call of Duty, I always play, the old ones, the good ones. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. When I grow up, I want to be in the Army, It just seemed cool at the time because everyone was like, oh, this AK is so cool. And growing up, I realized that it's not the fantasy that I thought the game was. There's real life things happening that I don't want to be a part of. So I feel, again, going back to the age.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the age thing.
So for you, say, future yous as parents, would you allow your children to play video games in general, and specifically then to more of the violent spectrum?
I feel like yes. I think there are good, positive video games that are out there. There are a lot of games with like really positive messages that are really interesting. And like maybe if they go or if they get interested in violent video games, I'll like watch everything happen, but I won't definitely like pull them back. Like I think forcing anyone to not do something has a chance of increasing their interest in doing it.
Interesting. Sophia?
So I would allow them to play violent video games as long as it wasn't an excessive amount and like more than a few hours a day, and once they were older, because I really think when you're older, I agree with what you were saying, that you're more self-aware and you're going to be able to be like, oh, hey, I feel a little more anxious after I play this video game. Maybe I limit how much I play it more than if you're a little kid.
Fantastic. Claire?
I definitely agree with Fee. My mother is a doctor, so she's definitely been a little bit more aware about how much time we actually spend watching TV. And so she's kind of instilled in me that like no more than 2 hours of TV time, whether that be video games, TV, movies, whatever it may be. I think that's kind of a bias that I have. But I think that I would allow my future child to play video games, and especially the non-violent ones. I don't know a whole lot about super violent video games, but I'd probably allow them as long as I was there to make sure that nothing was actually going on.
Fantastic.
I would definitely, I don't know, I'm like mixed because what she said, my dad's a therapist, and so like when I was a kid, this is embarrassing. I used to watch a lot of scary movies with my older siblings, and that scarred me. Until I was 13, I was still afraid of the dark, okay? I was terrified. So I feel I'll give them a little exposure to it, of course, see if they like it. But if you gotta look for early signs, like this is gonna affect my child, and you definitely don't want that to happen.
Yeah, definitely. I was limited when I was younger, and as I got older, I still enjoy video games at my current age, and I monitor how much I play. So let's get you guys' final thoughts. Anything you want to get out there, anything at all. Doesn't have to be about entertainment. It could be anything you want. I'm gonna start with you, Elijah.
Marshawn Lynch coming back to the Raiders. The Raiders are going to the Super Bowl.
Oh man, that's
gonna say
unpopular
that.
here. What's their final record gonna be?
Undefeated.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a Raiders fan. I'm a Redskins fan, but
Oh, okay.
things happen.
So you're just a Marshawn fan?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Claire,
I don't know. My mind's kind of blank right now.
that's totally
She was
fine.
thinking the
It's
same thing I was
Monday.
thinking.
It's fun. That's very true. You excited for the rest of the week? Got anything fun coming up?
Not really. I have more Spanish finals.
There you go. Spanish finals. That's
That's
important.
always entertaining.
You good at conjugating verbs? Getting there, aren't you?
Don't even know what that
It
is.
depends on what time of day it is.
There you go. Sounds good.
Well,
James.
You know what? Because we're talking about like video games and violent ones, I'd like to kind of plug in a less violent one. It's called the Talos Principle. It's a puzzle game, and you play this robot, and throughout the game, it kind of plays with existentialism, like the meaning of existence and stuff. It's like a really interesting game, and a lot of people should play it. It's a good game.
Are you PC or console?
PC,
Okay.
mainly out of necessity.
Mainly out of necessity?
Mainly, it's because it's what I have.
Okay.
Basically.
And are you a steamer?
So, yeah.
Okay. What's your favorite game to play right now?
Favorite game? No. It's the Binding of Isaac. I play a lot of the Binding of Isaac.
Binding of Isaac. I've
Yeah.
played that as well. I'm a console guy
Yeah.
because I am a Mac user as a musician.
Yeah.
And I mainly I'm playing Horizon Zero Dawn right now,
that
which is awesome.
looks like a really good game.
It's fun.
Now you've piqued my interest. As a musician,
I play bass guitar and I sing.
Oh, I play saxophone, trumpet, drums, and guitar.
What don't you do, Elijah?
I mean,
Play video games. Play GTA, Mom. He doesn't play GTA. Sophia, what about you?
So I just wanted to wrap up. I think that education is really important, as I probably said a few times here. And so I think if you're having video games, and we talked about the influence of pulp culture, if you're just educated about those things, then you're going to be able to make the right choice. So make sure that you get involved in your school and you vote for legislation that's going to increase funding to your district.
Fantastic. I also am a big proponent of education as a form of learning. I think if we educate ourselves more and learn about what's out there and what's available, especially in entertainment aspects, Love Thy Neighbor, I've heard about that. That's a fantastic concept.
Yeah.
There's a lot of really cool and interesting educational focused information out there that can help us learn a lot about ourselves and the culture around us. And entertainment's a big part of it. Like I said, as a musician, we spoke a lot about the influence of music and entertainment as a whole. Kendrick being a very good example of preaching to be connected as one. I think that that's a very big part. And I think you guys all being from the same school relays that Thomas Jefferson is pushing that for us. So I want to thank you guys all for coming in today. Thank you guys for watching Mile High's discussions today. I'd like to thank Claire, James, Elijah, and Sophia for joining me, and we will catch you next time.